They're lean, they're mean, they're plastic war machines. And this is the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare. It's a third-person multiplayer shooter with tons of different plastic little army characters, men and women to choose from, big and colorful worlds. And they did a really good job with making cool environments for these army people to fight each other. And the game goes from the perspective of these toy army soldiers, third person. And yeah, there's different characters, but they all play the same. They all seem to be balanced, which is nice. You can run, crouch, shoot, and roll your way through these worlds. And just simple controls. Think of the classic Army Men, Foot Soldier games, but looking better than ever. There's no vehicles, none of the tanks or whatever helicopters that they had in those games. There's 10 modes with 10 maps. Some maps are only available in specific modes. There's 6 different weapons, so assault rifle, RPG, shotgun, flamethrower, sniper, and hand grenades. And it usually has 5 versus 5 multiplayer maps. Supports voice and text chat, obviously, so it's pretty modern and has dedicated servers to it. As most modes prioritize completing objectives like capturing the flag, conquering the base. I think it was melting a T-Rex, someone said. I didn't get that far. You'll see why, instead of taking out enemies. Now cons. There are a lot of, unfortunately, cons to this game. It came out like 8 years ago, just to give you a heads up. The weapons don't feel varied. They don't feel powerful enough, and there's no recoil to them, so it's just too precise, the shooting, and it's kind of lackluster, unfortunately. So it needed a patch for that, clearly, like some major updates along the way. I don't know if it ever got patched beyond the release 8 years ago. The combat itself, it doesn't feel as intense as it should, and some maps are way too big for the 10-player limit, and they're very huge maps, which is great, but like, maybe if there were more people playing, 20 people limit with a patch, but alas, it never happened. It's one of the simplest multiplayer games ever. Pretty much it feels like a super lightweight version of Star Wars Battlefront, but obviously everyone plays the same. There's no Jedis running around with lightsabers, stormtroopers with like carbine blasters or whatever. So there are no extra levels, no unlockables, nothing. Like, once what you see is what you get. There's nothing to unlock, so that kind of stunts the game a little bit. I feel like when there's 0 unlockables, it sort of stagnates without further patches or DLC or something. And there's DLC to this, but they're like 2 wrestlers, so it's a very limited, very narrow, niche DLC for the people that I guess are big fans of those wrestlers. So as I said, this game's 8 years old. No one is playing it online. That's the biggest kicker. It just did not have the longevity. Apparently it was big when it first came out, and then boom, it died from there. So the only way you can play the game is with you and some from friends that got the game for cheap. And it does go for cheap on sale, 75% off, I heard. Maybe that's how I got it, I don't remember. But it's still a bummer. I've checked twice, never saw anyone online. The servers are there for people to play. I tried using bots. The bots didn't work for me. I don't understand why, because I checked it to use bots and then the bots weren't there. So the game does provide bots, as I just said, but it's not simple to find how, and there's no explanation how. There's very few sound effects beyond what you hear as gunfire, ambient background music. It's also easy to die without knowing who is shooting at you and why. Well, obviously that's not an issue for me because there's no one else in the servers, but sometimes you're tanned green or the darker green, tanned or green men, is to say, blur into the background, and it makes it harder to see what the heck is going on. So the game regular price is $11.49. Get on sale, I think it's like $2 to $4-ish when it's heavily discounted. So your friends can also play with you, and that's the only way you're going to be able to play this game up now, because the servers are up but no one's on them. So it's dead online. It's important that you convince your friends to buy the game. Now, it had so much potential, and this is a shame because this is the best Army Man game that's not an Army Man game that I've ever seen. And so just so much of the potential is just unrealized. It's just missing major updates. Like, even a few major updates would make this game live. Like if someone made it free to play or something, like this game would thrive. But because people have to pay money and there's no one else around, they're not going to buy a game that's dead. So I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10. Some people really trashed it, I think 2 or 3 stars. I'd say it's good, but you need to play it with your friends, otherwise you're not going to be able to enjoy this game because no one else is playing it. It's a fun shooter that anyone can pick up and play and enjoy, despite the weakness of the weapons being kind of weak. And the game is lacking the complexity of modern shooters, so don't expect like some complex like Diablo shooter like or something like that. It's a flawed attempt to bring back your childhood memories playing with small army men as a kid, but it could be considered a temporary diversion from other games that you enjoy. So this is not going to replace your Smash Brothers, it's not going to replace your Mario Kart, it's not going to replace any niche game or Kirby or whatever, but maybe you'll play it once a month, once a year or something, maybe a few times a year, and maybe you'll enjoy it again with your friends, but no one else is currently playing on the servers, which sucks. So anyways, plastic soldiers are waging war amongst kid gods. Keep on gaming. Ciao.